It is time for us to say goodbye to the 2025 NFL Draft. But before we do, I want to go over some of the steals in this class. Some of the picks that I thought were just the best because of the value that it provided. So let's go ahead, get into this sucker. Starting with a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, running back out of Arizona, more so New Mexico because the NCAA are kind of a douchebag, but you get what I'm saying. He ends up going to Washington at 245, back end of the 7th round. I had him at 131. On my big board, he actually ended up being running back 14 for me. He had a very strong offseason process, ran really, really well, aside from the agility drills. But we knew he was more of this north-south guy that's got some good stop-start ability. It's just less change of direction with him. But he ended up going to the Shrine. He was the Shrine Bowl Practice Player of the Week and then proceeded to be the MVP in the game. And I was kind of shocked that he got pushed down the board so far. And Washington might get a legitimate player out of this that can make an impact early because Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson, those guys get banged up. So the path for Krosky Merritt, it's a little bit encouraging. It's a little bit encouraging. So I'm very excited to see what the future holds for him. Next on the list is Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State. He goes at pick 82 to the Tennessee Titans. And I think the Titans had a phenomenal day too, right? They moved back, acquired a 3rd rounder in the process, ended up getting Femi Aladejo, which people feel all kinds of different ways about that one. He's raw. He's still a bit of a freak. He had a great Senior Bowl, but them being able to move back and acquire a 3rd round selection made them big winners for me because Kevin Winston Jr. I thought should have gone much higher. He ends up going at pick 82. I had him at 42 on my big board. You could have argued if he stayed healthy this season, he would have been in the run-in for safety 1 there with Malachi Starks and Nick Emanuari. He was my safety 3 because he was so good in 2023. No missed tackle in 2023. He knows how to play in and around the box. He has shown great anticipation. He's pretty darn explosive, especially when making the move downhill. Knows not afraid to run the alley, beat the running back, the ball carrier head on. There's a lot to like about him, and I felt like he had one of the safer ceilings, and he ends up having a partially torn ACL after, I think he got it in practice after the season opener, and then he tried to play in the game, and after 14 plays was like, oh no, I think I'm kind of messed up, guys. I think I'm actually hurt. Just wild, man. Absolutely wild. I think the Titans are getting a hell of a player at a hell of a value. Before we get back to today's video, I gotta give a shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. When you download the app and sign up using promo code Broshmo, they will match your first deposit up to $1,000 dues. It's the best place to play best ball. It's the best place for higher and lower on player stats. I love that sucker. And as a matter of fact, they got a new game called Ladders. Essentially, it's the playoff season, which means legendary performances. It's pretty easy. You pick 3 to 5 players who you think will simply go off. And as every player hits a higher rung, then your payout will jump up as well. If they all reach the highest rung, and then you will win up to 100 times your money. So try out Ladders right now. It's only available on Underdog Fantasy. And as always, play responsibly and play within your means. And when you sign up, remember, it's promo code BROSHMO. So Torrey Horton's a bit interested here because you could have said that, okay, if he decided to declare in the 2024 NFL draft, he would have been a day 2 pick. He decides to return, and he unfortunately got hurt. Ended up having a season-ending knee injury. But he got ready, ended up going to the combine, ran exceptionally well, and at that 6'3", 196, you're getting someone who is long, and fast. He's a good route runner, strong hands, very good at the catch point, plays with good physicality. And I look at this as like Seahawks, man. He was at 114 on my big board. You get him at 166. You got better MVS. There it is. MVS, who actually has some hands, can catch, some ball skills. Horton, maybe not the most fluid athlete. His frame is a little slender. But golly, he is hella good. Again, the year prior for the Rams, put up over 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. He's also someone that can create a little bit after the catch. He had 21 forced missed tackles back in 2023. So I thought the Seahawks got phenomenal value here for Horton. I loved the Seahawks draft in general. I just did. Then the New York Jets. They had one of the worst selections, in my opinion, in Arian Smith. And then with their final pick, I thought was probably one of the best selections with Tyler Barron, edge at the U, baby, the U, my Miami Hurricanes. Coming in at 6'5", 262. Now, I wouldn't say he's not the most explosive guy. He's not the bendiest guy. But he's hella solid. Like, this pick reminded me a bit of when the Jets picked up Michael Clemens, who early in his career was a really good contributor. I say early in his career. He's still on his rookie contract. But I think Barron is kind of that type where he can be a contributor. Is there a lot of upside there? Maybe not necessarily, but he was coming off one of his best seasons. He ended up with 46 pressures, 10 sacks, win rate of 18.9%. That's pretty solid. So I'm all for it. You got him at 176. I had him technically in my top 100 at 100. Kind of wild because I had I had close to almost 19 edge players in my top 100. Very gifted defensive line class. And I'm glad the Jets, Aaron Glenn was able to go out and get some defensive players he liked. And I think he's going to like Barron, man. I really, really do. Next, we're going to go talk about Braden Swinson. Let's talk about some guys who fell here, right? Someone, I was talking about Barron, who was in my top 100. Swinson, technically, in my top 50. And he goes at pick 146 to the New England Patriots. Extraordinary value. Now, let's talk about why that might have been the case. So, he was my edge 11. And I mean, you could make an argument that, okay, well, it's not like he's the best athlete or the most bendy guy, but he was super efficient this past season. Win rate at 20.4%, 59 pressures, 9 sacks. It was a breakout year for him. So you love to see it when it came to Swinson, even if he's not like a elite athlete, which is fine. He's a good athlete. He's a good athlete in his own right. Matter of fact, did he test out? He only did the agility drills, which he tested out well for. However, why I think he really felt may have been character concerns. And it was probably like butted heads with coaches, which I think he's been open about how him and Oregon's coaching staff didn't necessarily jive after he kind of had a breakout game against Ohio State, but he also tore his MCL during that game. He would miss 3 games while he got like minor scope surgery, but he ended up not being a starter the following year. It's like, I feel like I kind of had a big breakout game. I want like, why aren't we taking advantage of this? So he ends up transferring. He was suspended for a half this past season with Sage Ryan there for the Tigers because of a late check-in, which I don't know if there's anything there with like him butting heads with LSU coaches, but there was the late check-in, which again, you're a veteran on this team, you got to be responsible. But in terms of talent, they're getting a guy who I think uses his hands exceptionally well. He's got some length to him, and he's got a little shimmy as a pass rusher. It was very productive in that final year. Next on the list, it's Chris Paul Jr., linebacker out of Ole Miss. He ended up going at pick 172 to the Los Angeles Rams. I had him at 105 on my big board. Does he fall because he's short? Because he doesn't have great length? Probably. He tested out fine, 4'6", 340. The 3-cone wasn't great, but he had a solid enough shuttle time. But he put up a great year. 25 pressures, 6 sacks, 4.5. That's probably the best way to put it. 4.5 missed tackle rate. 54 defensive stops. Those are just stops versus the run that or tackles versus the run that result in either a negative play or a play of no gain. Yet also 4 pass breakups. He was very productive. Very, very productive, but he just doesn't have ideal size and length. Whoop-de-doo. Listen, the Rams are a team they'll throw out just one linebacker out there occasionally, and they'll stack the line with 5. You got to have a hell of an athlete that plays with his hair on fire, can go sideline to sideline, and he is a hell of an athlete. So I think he's going to get figured into that rotation relatively early. Low key, like they also got Josiah Stewart, who I thought was a really good pickup. Let's keep rolling. We got Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State. He goes to the Chiefs of all places at pick 133. I had him at 62 on my big board. He was wide receiver 9 for me. I loved Royals. I think he's a very smooth player. Got good speed, ran a 4.42 40. And he's got that after the catch ability. Just dominated the prior year, right? For Utah State. 15 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. Unfortunately, got hurt, missed the rest majority of the season with a foot injury. Still ended up making second team All Mountain West. I thought he was one of the better receivers at the Senior Bowl. Good explosiveness, good route runner, good contact balance. Just got it all. Matter of fact, man, go back. Let's go back to that 2023 season again, since it's a full season. And his forced missed tackles that year, 16. Pretty solid. Pretty darn solid. Matter of fact, this past season, he had 17. And that was with less volume because of the injury. How you let the Chiefs, this is their second opportunity, their second chance at a guy like Sky Moore. And it's minimal. It's less investment. Sky Moore, second round pick. I like it. I like it quite a bit, man. I really do. So, yeah, Chiefs, freaking banger. Banger draft pick there. Next on the list is Miles Frazier. Offensive lineman, probably guard. Out of LSU, he's 6'6", 300, and 24 pounds. He ended up going to the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions, they picked players I liked. I liked Tyleek Williams. I like Tate Ratledge. I didn't love that trade, but I like Tate Ratledge. Well, you already heard me talk about Tesla earlier when I talked about the reaches in this class, but the Lions generally had a good class. Like especially day 3, they picked some players I liked. Dan Jackson and such. But Miles Frazier, I think, could immediately maybe be plug and play at one of that guard spots. But then again, they got Tate Ratledge. So this is maybe more so to push, to press Christian Mahogany potentially. Regardless, they're keeping a strength, and you're getting someone who has got good swing tackle capabilities. He has plenty of work at tackle over the course of his career, and at 6'6", 324 pounds, 35.5-inch arms, you're getting a guy who could probably play tackle in a pinch. You go back to his Florida International days. He started as a left tackle with that squad. He gets to LSU and ends up playing a little bit of right tackle, playing both guard spots. And that's the crazy thing. This dude has versatility. He has produced, he has played well on both sides of the offensive line, not just different spots along the offensive line. The only thing he probably can't do is center. So Yeah, kind of a phenomenal pick here. I had him at 82 in my top 100 on my big board. I thought he was the best LSU lineman at the Senior Bowl. He ends up going at 171. Exceptional value, in my opinion. And then we got Dorian Strong, corner out of Virginia Tech. He goes to the Buffalo Bills at pick 177. I had him at 127 on my big board, and I just love the scheme fit. Dorian Strong played so well in zone coverage for the Hokies that he kind of needed to go to a zone-heavy scheme, and he's going to a zone-heavy scheme there with Sean McDermott. And suddenly, I think that cornerback room looks nice with Maxwell Harrison. You got Christian Benford. And now Dorian Strong is in the mix there as corner 4, corner 5, or corner 3, corner 4. Again, taking it out of account the whoever's playing in the slot, Terrion Johnson, obviously. But yeah, like I like Strong quite a bit. He made some good plays last year. Look, this past season allowed a completion rate of 46.6%, 6 pass breakups, 2 interceptions. The year prior, if you didn't know, now you know, allowed a completion rate of 27.3%, 7 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions. He has been a lockdown guy in zone coverage, and now he gets to go to a scheme that best benefits him. I love it. Final player on the list. It's Mike Green out of Marshall, edge, coming in at 6'3", 251 pounds, goes to the Baltimore Ravens at pick 59. I had him as a top 10 prospect in this class at number 8 on my big board. We all know why he fell. The massive character red flags. I don't have a lot of context on those matters. Some people, they have their ears to some of the interviews that transpired in the NFL. I heard that when it came to his character red flags, those sexual assault accusations, that they felt that his response or answer to it was not satisfying. So I don't know. Ended up apparently you got Harbaugh was like, you know what? We were happy with the interview. We feel good about him, especially at where we took him. So again, some people, they have some inside sources to what transpired at Virginia before he transferred. Again, I pulled my stuff from the Virginia Pilot. It's who I reference. You talk about the incident in high school. It was stalking, and it was dealt inside the school. No charges were brought. I can make assumptions. Okay, high school kid caught in his feels is what it is, but it is more alarming that something that was designated sexual assault happened a potentially second time. But it was an anonymous source at Virginia. No charges were brought. Nobody was questioned, but he did have a no-nonsense clause in his contract with Virginia. So they were like, hey, we're going to suspend you. And he was like, okay, well, then I'll just hit the transfer portal. But there's just so much ambiguity to this. Not enough context that me as somebody, hey, I'm not inside those interviews. I don't got that ear to the NFL. I don't got guys I can talk to. I can't just call up, hey, DaCosta, how you doing, friend? I don't have that. So I'm just trying to come to the best conclusion that I can with the information that I have available to me. And I always say that, innocent until proven guilty. Too much context left it out, so just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna side with he's not in the wrong here. But if he does end up being wrong, you're a monster. Get the hell out of the league. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You don't necessarily have to pick sides. You just pick the side of the truth, the evidence. Where's it at? Or hey, just gonna wait. When it comes to the prospect, the player, hell of a good player. He had a phenomenal year at Marshall. Freaking phenomenal. And you'd be like, well, that's against frickin' the MAC. Of course he went off. It's like, okay, cool. He had a game against Ohio State where he had a sack, but okay. And that was early in the year before that offensive line was banged up. You go to the Senior Bowl. Josh Connerly Jr., he goes to the back end of the first round. Let's not forget what he did to Josh Connerly Jr. I know Connerly, he was playing right tackle for, I think, the first time in his career, but I'm sure he practiced at right tackle. And it didn't go well. He got whooped on back-to-back reps. Mike Green, hell of a good player, former wrestler. You can see it with his hands. How he tracks down, how he's able to just stack and shed and track down ball carriers. Thought this was a phenomenal pick for the Ravens. And that's the thing. They didn't even move in the first 2 rounds. They just let Malachi Starks, bam, he's there at 27, we'll take him. Come to pick 59. Mike Green's there, bam, we'll take him. Freaking wild. Just freaking wild in my opinion. But yeah, that's it for the video. Go ahead, let me know who were some of your steals in this class. I only named 10 in this video. I could have named other guys that I also liked. But let's talk about those guys in the comment section below. But as always, till next time, because next time we're going to be probably talking some 2026 prospects. But until then, you be easy, my friends. Later.